Hello, welcome back. We're going to be finishing up our notes today. So on the back side, we have cumulative and associative properties. Oh, these are good ones. First up, let's talk about the associative property. The way you group three or more numbers when adding or multiplying does not change their sum or product. So what we see here is our grouping symbols. We put our parentheses around the A and the B. So quantity AB plus C will still equal A plus quantity B plus C. And in multiplication, we get quantity AB times C is the same as A times quantity BC. They're just all being multiplied. It doesn't really change anything. Down here, let's put in those parentheses. We have the same properties being demonstrated, and we've replaced our variables with numbers. Next up, cumulative property. The order in which you add or multiply numbers does not change their sum or product. So what we see here is this states that A plus B is equal to B plus A. That makes sense. And we have A times B is the same as B times A. That also makes sense. We can then plug numbers in for A and B, and we will get these results. It will be the same. 8 and 12 make 20. 12 and 8 make 20. 4 by 9 is 36. 9 by 4 is 36. It works. Example 7. Jalen wants to add up how much money he spent on gasoline in July. So we're looking for a sum. He grabs the 4 receipts he has for July and writes the expression that represents the total amount he's spent. Okay, so we wrote down what he spent. Evaluate the expression to determine how much money Jalen spent on gasoline in July. All right. So we see we have the $34.50. We are missing the $32.50. We have $23.25, and we need to add in the $31.75. All right. Next up, it has us do the associative property. It's having us group them to get whole numbers. You could plug this into a calculator, get the same result through grouping. We know the two 50s will make a 1, so let's just cross that out, and I'm going to make this a 33. So 30 and 30 make 60, 4 and 3 make 7 for 67. Over here, they just want us to copy it down. And for here, I would just get rid of that and make it a 2. Just makes the addition easier. We see that's going to add to 55, 67 and 55. So 5 and 7 make 12. Carry the 1. 5 and 6 make 11, 12. Jalen spent $122.00 on gasoline in July. All right, think about it over here. Why did you use the associative property to evaluate this expression? Well, by using the associative property here, we were able to group them into easier math. We could have done the 3250 plus 2325, but again, we would be dealing with those decimals, and a 4-digit number is more of a pain in the butt to deal with than 3-digit numbers. And by combining them this way, we turn them into 2-digit numbers by getting them to whole dollars. By turning them to whole dollar amounts here, it let the math be easier. Work smarter, not harder. All right, determine the property used for each step of the evaluation process. Well, let's take a look. So they started here, and let's add in our arrow. We progress to here. Ooh, what has changed? We've added parentheses. So, as up here, it says that's the associative property. So let's go ASSO and plus. Abbreviate that. Next up, we see that they combine those two to get 90. All right, so that was simplified. Next up, oh, they rearranged it. So this is a rearrange. And we rearranged it to add a new associative property. Boom and boom. So the rearrange is done, so we can use the associative property of addition. From there, they add them together. Simplify, simplify. Anytime we rearrange something, oh, rearrangement. I know what they said. They wanted us to say this was the associative property in action. Yeah. All right, jumping along. Example 8. Evaluate 5, 6 times 9 times 6 fifths. All right, the first thing we're going to do is, let's walk through here. I think that we want to rearrange this, and we're doing that. That rearrangement is by using the associative property, not associative, cumulative property. By rearranging this, we now can use our inverse. This will cancel out to 1. And from here, 1 times 9 is 9. And again, we use cumulative property because the rearrangement doesn't change the answer. So I like to think of it as rearrangement. It's easier in my mind to remember that, but we always have to take it back to the cumulative property. Next up, check. Josephina needs to evaluate 7/3 times 2 times 3. She wants to use the cumulative property to make this more easy. To do this, she should first multiply. Well, we should multiply 7/3 times 3. And the reason why we do this is if we go 7/3 times 3, and there's that 1 underneath, we get cancel, cancel, gives us 7. Now we do 7 times 2, and that gives us 14. Example 9. Oh, wait, what? Associative and cumulative properties. Watch out before you apply the associative cumulative property. Make sure that only one operation is involved. For example, in 3 plus 5 times 2, you cannot group 3 and 5 or switch the 3 and the 5 because it does not adhere to the order of operations. That is correct. In this, 2 times 5 would trigger first. So when the order of operations apply, think of it like putting grouping symbols around what's going to happen first. If you play Magic the Gathering, Magic Triggers is the best way to think about order of operations. Everything has a hierarchy of response. Example 9. Evaluate using the associative and cumulative properties. Jade buys groceries once a week. All right. And she wants to calculate how much she spent on groceries over a 4-week period. All right, first piece of math we have here is this is over 4 weeks. Evaluate the expression to find out how much Jade has spent. So we know we have 4 numbers. All right, we're adding 4 numbers. Got that. So from here to here, let's see. We still have the 32. We still have the 28. So that means we've grouped the 27 and 33. Our reasoning for grouping these two together is to make a whole number. And by this rearrangement, we're using the cumulative property of addition. So we'll call that COM plus. Step through, combining those, we get 60. We added grouping symbols here. So this was a simplify and another cumulative property. Yeah, we're putting in parentheses. Gotta love when we're adding proofs from here. Drop our 60 down. We now have 60 and 60. This is just the additive property of equality. We can call that just simplify, though. Proofs in math are fun, but they're kind of an art form you gotta get used to. And it takes a while to get into the swing of things. For which steps did J's use the cumulative property of addition? Well, she used it every time she rearranged her numbers. We rearranged them over here to do this product first. By doing this first, it won't change the answer. Rearranged over here, group them. Answer still will not change. Now we've got two easier numbers. We combine them together and combine them together. So the answer is $120. That looks bad. Let's do it over here. Check, use the cumulative and associative properties to evaluate. All right, this is where it gets easier because we don't have to justify our steps. And the longer you do mathematics, the more you just remember how to do it. And getting to the steps is where all the logistics comes in. So if you can remember the steps early on, though, this helps. So let's take a look here. So definitely let's get these two numbers grouped together. Let's use the cumulative property of multiplication. And by doing it this way, we'll be able to have those two numbers grouped and these two numbers grouped. Cancel, 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 leaves us with a 1. 9 times 4 is 36. 36 times 1 is 36. And that is it. I'll be back in a little bit doing solutions for the homework assigned with this. Thank you all.